Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clark on YouTube. Oh no! Oh, the sunset is quite lovely this evening. I am so happy I found this house a year ago and moved into it despite people telling me it was haunted. And then just last night, after I thought the soccer field had been shut down, they decided to kick off the first official girls soccer game of the season. Go team! So I'm going to have to endure loud noises every Friday night now during a soccer game when I record my thoughts on Descendants and Zombies for you on my podcast. Oh my. But with saying that, notwithstanding that, this is a beautiful place. This is a beautiful location. It is very scenic. There's an ocean behind me. There is a soccer field. I love it. And the scenery is quite beautiful. They shot Descendants here. It was an amazing, amazing production. And I hope they get to Descendants 6. I am not shutting down the possibility for anybody to see Descendants 6. I think it will happen because this franchise is mind-blowing. It's not only mind-blowing to me, it's mind-blowing to over 10 million fans on all social media platforms. And I have this to say to everybody who's found time in criticizing Descendants, offering your critique opinions. You gotta stop. And the people making these AI videos with these fake thumbnails of how the Mad Hatter is going to go crazy, and there's this really spooky video going around now with the Mad Hatter on it. Please don't watch it. Every day these videos are being uploaded to YouTube, and it really breaks my heart. So a couple of years ago, I thought I had recorded my final podcast. I hung up the headset, and I looked at my co-host, and he said, "We'll see you in a couple of years." Lo and behold, and thankfully, you guys brought me back from what seemed to be obscurity, and brought me back from the proverbial dead, because a lot of my friends thought that I had a lot to say. I wasn't ready to go, truth be told, and you guys brought me back, and I'm forever eternally grateful to each and every one of you. I love the personality of Ruby Rose Turner. I fell in love with Ruby Rose Turner when they revamped the Descendants series as the Rise of Red franchise. I'm really missing Ruby Rose Turner. I don't care who you bring in as part of the cast. No one will ever take the place of Ruby Rose Turner in my heart. Gorgeous person, beautiful human being. If anything, she has inspired me to become a better person, because I've made a lot of mistakes in my lifetime, and I have admitted to those mistakes time and time again on this podcast. But if anything, Ruby Rose Turner has made me a better person, and hopefully made people like me better people because of her kindness, her exuberance. So many beautiful messages to their core represented by Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget, and notwithstanding the messages represented by the characters Red from Kylie Cantrell and Chloe Charming from Mila Baker. Beautiful characters that received their fair share of criticism, both professionally and personally, but can we please keep things like Kylie Cantrell's political point of view about Donald Trump out of the conversation, Logan Paul's opinion about Ruby Rose Turner out of the conversation for Logan Paul blogs on YouTube? It is repulsive. So I thought to myself, what can I do to create videos for people who are searching up Descendants and Zombies content all the time, so that they can find videos that they can appreciate time in watching and reviewing and hitting the like and subscribe buttons, which, by the way, if you haven't done so, please ring my bell to up my subscriber count, because here's the secret between us. I love when I see the subscribers going up on this YouTube channel, because it's what the YouTube algorithm has represented for forever. The YouTube algorithm is basically you guys, because that's what you're searching, and your suggested videos based on what you're searching. So hopefully, because you're searching Descendants and Zombies, you have found my thumbnail amongst thousands of thumbnails that have these really creepy AI-generated thumbnails. There's a creepy one now, the Mad Hatter, making the rounds on YouTube. Please don't watch it. And amongst those, I don't know, 200-300 videos that you're popping up on your YouTube recommendation system, thank you so much for clicking my thumbnail. I know I was a theater kid years ago, and I did things like fall down to the stage during the Phantom of the Opera, and literally became the Phantom of the Opera. Anything but figuratively. I literally became the Phantom of the Opera, but I did love producing Phantom of the Opera. I love studying and producing Dracula too. Beautiful novels in their own right. Dracula, Alice in Wonderland. I loved theater production years ago. I loved learning how to project your voice so the back of the auditorium could hear you. I loved getting into character. I loved producing plays and writing scripts. And every single time I'd be at the back of the auditorium and someone would ask me for advice, what's the best piece of advice you could throw at me? Is just go out there and be yourself, and the audience will love you. And every single person who went out there and actually was themselves and represented themselves by being just themselves, the audience received them quite well. The people who went out there and were just idiots weren't received quite as well. So they didn't take my advice. But I had a passion for theater, much like Meg Donnelly, much like Dove Cameron. I've seen a lot of Dove Cameron's projects recently thrown up on YouTube Shorts. They are gorgeous. Everything from Mamma Mia to Smigadoo, to Cloud Nine to Liv and Maddie, which was the show that made her popular and allowed her to achieve superstardom. I remember all the episodes of Liv and Maddie. There were over 75 episodes of Liv and Maddie, and I literally must have watched all of them. There were probably only 2 or 3 that I missed, but I think I watched the series in its entirety, and I loved it so much. I remember Ruby Rose Turner on a show called Orange is the New Black. She did a great job on that. She did a great job on Coop and Cammy Ask the World when she was first discovered, and she was such a courageous young girl at 12 years old for various reasons. I have so much respect for Ruby Rose Turner and her family. They did a great job raising her, and she is doing a fabulous job now representing herself for how she wants to be perceived and as an actress, and I think she's inspiring millions of people. And so is Kylie Cantrell. Her resume definitely speaks for itself. Gabby Dern and the Unsittables, High School Musical, the series, and now Descendants, blowing up for her in so many unbelievable ways. At just 9 years old, she watched the Descendants franchise and wanted to be a part of it more than anything else in the world. And over 10 years later, here she comes as Red, this fearless daughter, the representation of the Queen of Hearts daughter. Nobody could have ever done it more effectively and more powerfully as what Kylie Cantrell did. I also want to say this. Kylie Cantrell is so dedicated in everything that she does. Her gym regimen is absolutely unbelievable. So too is the gym regimen of Ruby Rose Turner. They are always in the gym pumping the iron and lifting the weights and studying parkour. And I have never seen them in such phenomenal shape like they are in now, stronger than ever before, and such a strong representation of every one of the characters being brought forth in the Descendants franchise, and characters that have yet to come. I spoke on the study of folk literature and fairy tale literature a couple of times on this podcast, and I will continue to do it because there is so much of a story left to be told from Descendants. This franchise is truly unbelievable, with the introduction of characters from The Princess and the Frog and Encanto forthcoming, with Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. That is a really cool title, very authentic, which I think will separate it from the other Descendants franchise movies and the movie titles. Really excited to see where this one will take us in the way of a plot, a synopsis. A lot of people have been throwing their versions of the synopsis, what they're calling it. I don't really buy into the Invictus games being what's going to, take up the bulk of the synopsis of Descendants. Give it time and see how this plot unfolds. There is so much of a story left to be told, so I don't think this chapter of Descendants is going to be the final one, especially with the introduction of Red's sister coming into the mix now. Pink, obviously the replacement for Ruby Rose Turner, but again, you cannot have Descendants without Ruby Rose Turner. And the cool thing is, with her sister now entering the plot and entering the mix, what could happen is we could see, a lot of confliction between these two characters, and she could be your proverbial villain, and a lot of stuff could happen. A lot of stuff could go astray in this. So that means there could be another chapter written 2 or 3 years down the road. Usually the Descendants movies are released every 3 years. But with her now entering the mix, there is a possibility for endless amount of things to happen. So for those of you who are being told this franchise is going to see its conclusion, or its dramatic conclusion, its shocking conclusion by these critics, don't ever believe what you're hearing from the other critics. And please subscribe to this YouTube channel so you will get notified when I drop videos about either Descendants or Zombies, because I was really inspired by the powerful messages from both franchises, and I'm really inspired by how they're bringing the two franchises together now for 43 Arena. It's scheduled for the next 3 months for the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide Tour. Really excited to the mashups who we're going to be seeing on stage. Meg Donnelly, Kylie Cantrell have been confirmed. I don't believe Ruby Rose Turner is on the tour. It would be cool if she was on the tour. I know a lot of people were saying she was going to be on the tour, but with her not in the Descendants franchise for Descendants 5, I'm kind of skeptical on her involvement. I'm also really skeptical on the involvement of characters from franchises like Encanto, because it hasn't been around relatively long enough to be introduced into Descendants as VK kids. But I mean, stranger things have happened for Disney. But I think this is definitely one of the most successful franchises since the days of High School Musical, that inspired millions of people, getting the highest rated reviews on Disney Channel for any Disney Channel original movie or series. This is the first to come along in a long time to stand up to High School Musical with 6.4 of a rating for reviews from people and 781 million hours of screen time on Disney Plus. You can't go wrong there. The first time I saw Descendants was in July of 2015. That was over 10 years ago. And I almost instantly fell in love with the franchise, and that is as honest as I can be with each and every one of you. Just as honest as how I love to eat chocolate chip muffins in the nighttime. I wish Ruby Rose Turner was here to bake for me, because those pies that she used to bake in Descendants were absolutely incredible. They were absolutely incredible. I was just going to eat that chocolate chip muffin before I started recording this podcast, and then everybody started subscribing to this YouTube channel, which is what I love seeing. I love when people hit the subscribe button. So if you're someone watching this video, if you are new here, I would love for you to take some time out of your day to hit the subscribe button, your busy schedule, because I love seeing the subscribers on this YouTube channel, and I love just seeing you like the videos. I hope that I can only hope, as the creator of this YouTube channel, you love these videos. You think the guy hosting it is incredibly sweet for making you Descendants videos, and you will hit the subscribe button because of it. Because I see the videos that people are uploading, most of it is AI. The majority of it is just quite deceiving, and it's not what you want. So this is how it goes. You're searching up Descendants and zombies literally all night. Not figuratively, literally all night. And there are hundreds of videos popping up, and you're trying to make that very difficult decision on what Descendants video are you going to watch today after you get home from school, or in the nighttime when you're desperately trying to fall asleep. Because I know how it is. A lot of people have trouble sleeping at night, so they're on their tablets and they're on their phones watching Descendants and zombies videos, trying to fall asleep because they have a lot on their minds. And I don't want you to hit these thumbnails that really don't deliver for you. I want you to find content that you'll find really funny, really engaging, videos that are worth watching, and I go out of my way to do my absolute best to create these videos for each and every one of you. You know, it blows my mind that after 25 years of podcasting, just a little over 25 years, I am now hosting a show out of my bedroom that has over almost 3,000 subscribers. That is really hard for me to believe. But I know it happened because of each and every one of you who love the stories that I tell about my house being haunted, my theater stories, which are actually really cool and really funny, my stories about my infatuation with Dove Cameron, Ruby Rose Turner, what have you. You guys, you took a chance on me when you didn't have to, and from my heart to yours, that truly means the world to me, because the reality of it is I'm up against 15 million critics that, I don't know, have 15,000, 20,000 subscribers, what have you, and I'm up against critics that I have no chance against. So with all the competition that's out there, you could be on anybody else's YouTube channel tonight, but you're on this YouTube channel listening to my commentary and my critique. And I can't thank you enough for that. You know, I had a conversation with my friend a couple of days ago. He said, you don't need 2 or 3 subscribers. You literally need hundreds of subscribers. And even though that may be the reality, every subscriber means so much to me. So even if I get 2 or 3 subscribers per day, you guys will never live long enough to know how much I appreciate each and every one of you, because the reality is, you could be on anybody else's YouTube channel. You could be on the Disney Music YouTube channel tonight listening to Descendants music, but you clicked on my thumbnail, and just because you clicked on this thumbnail and you gave me a chance as the voice of Descendants, and it really made me the voice of Descendants, I can't thank you enough. From my heart to yours, for the almost 2,700 subscribers I've been able to put up here on this YouTube channel over the course of the last year. It hasn't even been a year yet, because this YouTube channel premiered on August 5th, 2024, just a little less than, 11 months. Thank you guys so much for that. Because this YouTube channel, I did not expect it to blow up the way that it did, throwing up Dove Cameron video after Dove Cameron video, getting 1,000 views. What I do is I create these videos, and I just upload them to YouTube, and I go to EB Games, or I go to the mall to watch a movie. And I come back and I literally have 500 people subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is how this YouTube channel works. I don't depend on the YouTube algorithm. I just upload the video, throw in a couple of hashtags with a description, because I pretty much have to put my video out there and upload it to YouTube, up to the platform. I go out to the mall for Dairy Queen, which is actually really cool. If you've never had a Blizzard before, you should eat one. I highly recommend it. Or I go to Booster Juice. Stop laughing, and I come back and everybody's subscribed, and I can never thank you enough for the love and support you have given this YouTube channel, because, you know, in 2018, which was just over 7 years ago, when I hung up my headset in some radio station, I looked at my co-host and I said, I think I'm going to go home. And he said, we'll see you in a couple of years. I didn't believe him, and as I was driving home that night, I never ever thought that I would be here tonight with each and every one of you, because you guys brought me back from seemingly obscurity. Because the reality of it is, what really upset me about these YouTube videos about Descendants and zombies is none of them made any sense. And my heart was broken, because you guys deserved better than that. You didn't deserve to hear critique reviews about your favorite Descendants stars, because you are so inspired. The reality of it is, I have, I don't know, maybe 1,000 girls subscribed to this YouTube channel because you are inspired by Kylie Contrell. And because I realize that and I appreciate that, I not only appreciate the fact that you love Kylie Contrell, I appreciate you for being here. And I'm here to tell you the exact same thing. I love Kylie Contrell. I have loved Kylie Contrell since the very first time I saw her on these reoccurring roles for shows like Raven's Home and Berserk, which wasn't yesterday. I've loved Kylie Contrell ever since at least her role as Jasmine, which was just simply a reoccurring role on Raven's Home. I loved her dedication to dance, her dedication to music. I didn't really appreciate her on TikTok, feeling really down about herself. I never could understand why people like Kylie Contrell and Meg Donnelly for years were so down on themselves. They're in these aspiring roles that are aspiring millions of people to better themselves, to become stronger individuals. But then, the more that I thought about it is, the reason they're like that is because they're just human. They're like me and you. They're pretty much like me. For years I was a podcaster. I didn't think I was the greatest podcaster. I did stuff for a lot of syndicated radio shows online. I worked for Eminem's radio station. I was denied a lot of opportunities because they found replacements for me. But the cool thing was I did have the opportunity to do that for a short time, mind you, but I did have the opportunity to work there. I've had a lot of opportunities with professional wrestling and entertainment. I've pretty much become the voice of Disney behind this podcast microphone. But ultimately what I made the decision to do was go on my own because for the majority of my radio career I was pretty much the co-host of a show, and it's not really as amazing of a feeling or as much of a rewarding opportunity to be the co-host of a show because you're pretty much putting over your host and you're filling in the blanks on air. And a lot of time there was dead air. A lot of stuff that was going on in the shows weren't making sense. It wasn't topics that critiqued me or interest me, kept me motivated. And now here, years later, I'm back with, I believe, my second podcast in 25 years. And you guys get what you want on it. You get great reviews about Descendants and Zombies, and you get to hear me talk about driving a side-by-side through a rabbit hole, hunting vampires. It's actually getting pretty dusky out, so I'm soon going to have to jump through the window. I've watched every fairy tale movie that ever has been put out by Disney. I've read every fairy tale book. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, by the way, was an amazing story. I loved it. I think Lou Carroll did a great job writing that. But the thing about Alice in Wonderland is, and I think a lot of the reviewers of The Rise of Red have really forgotten about how significant a lot of these characters are to the Descendants franchise and to the Alice in Wonderland side of things, because you have the Cherokee Cat, you have the Caterpillar, you have Alice's love interest, you have the Mad Hatter, who have so much to offer to this franchise. So we have a lot of characters that have so much left to offer to the franchise who have already been introduced, and so many who have yet to be introduced. So if you think this is the end of the story, I think you should second guess yourself and maybe take yourself on the opportunity to study Alice in Wonderland, because there is so much left and still a long way to go. And I'm excited to see where this side-by-side ride will take us. The rabbit hole may have been closed for years, but I think it can be remained open for a little while longer, don't you think? And I don't think there's anything wrong with encouraging people to believe and to hold on to the dream that the Descendants' journey is far from over. And that is the beautiful thing about this YouTube channel, because there have been some very powerful messages conveyed and that I've relayed on this YouTube channel that I hope a lot of people have ran away with, inspired from. It's that every dream is possible, happily ever after, and fairy tales do exist, and that this is going to be a story that is going to continue for what feels like forever, or at least one can only hope it's going to feel like forever. The Invictus Games. I've often thought about competing in the Olympics, so maybe I should try my hand in the Invictus Games for the Descendants Cup. I don't know what kind of games they'll play, but I would take it seriously and I would train for it. Kind of like how Sabrina Carpenter's been saying she would take a stunt double job serious for Mission Impossible and train for Tom Cruise stunts. I know how serious she is about that, but I would definitely take this serious, and I would train for the games, and I would take it seriously. I would also take it very serious to be Kylie Contrell's love interest, or Ruby Rose Turner's love interest, for an upcoming Descendants 6. They could shoot Descendants 6 in my backyard. They don't have to live in a trailer. Ruby Rose Turner can bake in my kitchen, play PlayStation 5. They can blow it up. I'll pay for the cost. I'll even hook up LED strip lights in my kitchen and stream a few guys on Instagram while Ruby Rose Turner and Kylie Control performed the dance routine for Life is Sweeter When You Are. I'll actually go out and buy strip lights for the kitchen and hook it up and stream it on TikTok or something for you guys. Man, I'm really thankful for two Japanese guys who, were alone one night and created TikTok, because now I've developed an obsession for Descendants and Zombies content on TikTok. There are hundreds of videos on TikTok for those of you who have yet to see these videos on TikTok. Some videos I haven't even seen. I've gone back in time. I've seen a lot of the retro Descendants footage. I've seen a lot of the newer stuff. I've seen a lot of interviews that I never got to see on YouTube or on Bing. And it's just phenomenal. This franchise is beautiful, and so many beautiful messages to their core. The final day of production teaser was just dropped. It's already received millions of views. The Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires trailer has surpassed over 10 million views now on YouTube. And for those of you who didn't hear me, 10 million views on YouTube after the teaser trailer and the Place to Be music video received an endless amount of criticism, which there was no need for. I don't even know why they were subject to so much criticism. The photos I saw earlier today on Zombies' official Facebook page, I believe it was, are absolutely beautiful of Zed and Nova. They are incredible. I'm really looking forward to seeing the complexion between Addison, Zed, and Nova, and how Addison will obviously try to save their relationship, either by becoming a vampire or going crazy. Again, there are so ways that this story can go, so many unbelievable turns of unexpectability that can happen for a franchise such as Zombies and even Descendants, with the origin of the fairy tale characters that have yet to be explored. I don't think we should have to buy into these critics. I really don't. I've been wanting to be a vampire slayer for years. I've just never taken myself up on the opportunity to actually be one for TV, even though I've been one in real life. Would love the opportunity to do it. For years, I thought I lived across the street from a vampire until one night I was over to his house for supper, and everything in his house was red. He had this thing with red furniture and red cushion coverings. I said to myself, man, you are a vampire. Now, don't get me wrong. I never did show up on his door knocking with a backpack filled with steaks and garlic and stuff. But I probably should have done that, because I was convinced for years I had lived next door to a vampire. And to be honest with you guys, I don't see a whole lot of people on this street. I think I live in a ghost town. I probably should do some investigating. Open up Ghostbusters from this room. Put up a Ghostbusters sign. Yeah, this place is definitely haunted. You have no idea how many creepy noises I hear in the nighttime. Somebody better call Ghostbusters if they haven't already. And if you're someone, see that? I just thought I saw someone walk past me there. Shadow. Shadow people, man. I see dead people all the time. Unbelievable. What would you do if you lived in a haunted house? Hey Google, what are some ways to prepare yourself for living in a haunted house?
On the website wikihow.com, they say, give yourself a quick pep talk before you go in the house.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Whenever you start feeling scared inside. Try saying, this is scary, but I'm being brave and doing it anyways. Reminding yourself that you're being brave can make you feel even stronger and more courageous.
Definitely. True advice. I don't think truer words have ever been spoken. Reminding yourself that you're brave can always make you feel stronger and more encouraged and more empowered. That is definitely true advice. I probably should take myself up on the opportunity to actually practice what I preach here on this YouTube channel. But yeah, if you ever enter a haunted house, those are some helpful tips for you. I've been convinced for years this place is haunted. Just the other night, actually, at the end of one of my videos, there was a creepy sound outside my door. I never go see what it was. That's why I say I would be perfect for these zombies movies. They look so fun to be a part of, especially these scenes that are shot in the nighttime. I have mad respect for those guys for being up till 5 a.m. every morning shooting scenes in New Zealand and Toronto. When they shot the original Zombies trilogy here in Toronto, it was a beautiful place. I've been to Toronto many times in my lifetime, especially when I was trying to put my life back together after my mom had just passed away from her battle with cancer. I was in Toronto. The airport was beautiful. The town was beautiful. The city was absolutely very obliging to me and accommodated me quite well. I would love the opportunity to be a part of this Zombies franchise because, like I said, it looks so fun. And I would love the opportunity to fight Dracula and get his autograph. I just can't forget my autograph book when I am in this fight scene with Meg Donnelly and Dracula, because I would love the opportunity to save Meg Donnelly from the clutches of Dracula, which has been a revered novel since the 1800s, 1896. It was released on a Wednesday, for those of you who can believe that or not. It's kind of freaky how I know all these dates. I was one of those guys that used to sit in the back of the classroom every time he was posed a question by the teacher. I'd just randomly say the answer, and then the teacher would spend hours looking it up in the back of the book only to be proved wrong. And that's what you should aspire to be. Something better than what you already are, but even though you sometimes can't aspire to be something better than you already are, just being you and representing yourself for you is the best way to be perceived in this life because you only have one life to live. I love this way of Disney's presentation, how they encourage you that every dream is possible, how they've come into this sci-fi kind of realm with zombies, werewolves, and vampires in their own version of the zombie story, which has been told so many times since the 16th century. I've read so many different variations of the zombie's disease and the zombie story, and now that Disney's put its own spin on it with the love interest, of course, now entering the mix with Nova entering the mix, and now she's going to try to really, mix things up between Zed and Addison. I'm really excited to see where this goes. So that's why I'm kind of putting it out there that I'd love to be Addison's love interest as the vampire slayer in this one. Nova can make her introduction into the zombies franchise, the Kung Fu Panda fighting chick. And I can be a vampire slayer that just randomly shows up from out of nowhere. Kind of like how Jonathan in Hotel Transylvania was just lost in the woods one night, which is really easy to do. And he walked through the smoke, and then all of a sudden he met Adam Sandler's version of Dracula. And said, hey dude, I'm randomly here. Can I sing karaoke? And that's kind of like how I would want to show up in the Zombies franchise. Just show up driving a Jeep with Ghostbusters on blast on the stereo. Get out and say, man, I was just driving on a dirt road. Heard some commotion and thought I'd check it out. And that's how it would happen. And not to mention it would be the funniest Zombies installment that you probably would ever witness in your life. So I just want to put it out there to the director and producer of Zombies, which just happens to be both Meg Donnelly and Mila Menon, who lived together for years in a house that was also haunted. Which I also would have loved to investigate it. They used to have these shows years ago called Ghost Hunters and Mystery Hunters on youth television here in Canada. I used to watch it every night between 10:30 and 11 p.m. I also used to watch Vampire Hunters that was inspired by the Dracula novel years ago. And ever since I watched that, I always wanted to have something to do with it. Although I never did take myself up on the opportunity to do it. Perhaps I should have pursued other career adventures. I don't know. I just ended up being a podcaster and pursued that career for over 25 years, and that's why we're here now. Yeah. Guys, don't ever believe anything else you hear from critics about the Invictus games, about how this is going to happen, how that's going to happen, how this has yet to happen. And don't ever believe that we have seen the final chapters written for either Descendants or Zombies, because we still have a long way to go. And if you think this is the end of the story, it is far from over. I'll just come back tomorrow night and tell you another version of the same story over again. Because I know so many people have appreciated this YouTube channel. You found it by searching up Descendants and Zombies, and I'm happy you're here. So if you're somebody new to this YouTube channel, hi. It's nice to meet you, and I hope you enjoy these videos that will be uploaded for you periodically on this YouTube channel, and I will do my best to provide you with very unique commentaries that you have yet to hear from anybody else that will separate this YouTube channel from every other YouTube creator out there on YouTube that you will find on the platform. So I'm hoping the YouTube algorithm will continue to pick these videos up and recommend them to the people who are searching this up, and you guys will love it. Hopefully you'll think the guy hosting it is really sweet for creating a bunch of Descendants and Zombies videos, and you will take him up on the chance and hit the subscribe button. So what do you say we watch this video? I believe this is a video where Kylie and Mila Baker are actually guessing the Descendants song by the lyrics that they are posed. I thought this video was really cool, and I wanted to watch it with you for what I believe is going to be the very first time. I love these fairy tale characters and these fairy tale kids representing themselves as the sons and daughters of these fairy tale characters that have been represented ever since at least the 1600s. When you talk about Alice in Wonderland, it's amazing. Guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do it. Let's watch this video together.
There were so many characters in the movie that was so nice. Who is the nicest of you three?
Oh no! Sarah. We're sorry. This is easy. Sarah, because I think we have literally the sweetest bunch of cast people ever. So this is no downer, but Dara brings in this sunshine bubble energy.
It's a different kind of angel. It's a different kind of halo.
Like she's like,
It's more saturated too because of the character that she played.
yes.
You know what I mean? Truly.
Totally.
True.
I love that so much.
They're the nicest people ever. I just have to say that. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how you can really tell this story without Ruby. Ruby was so gorgeous. Everything about her character was so phenomenally designed and so appealing to so many people. And the thing about this absence of Ruby Rose Turner is I'm not the only one who is in that same boat tonight. There are so many Descendants fans who are never given enough credit, who have loved Ruby Rose Turner for forever. You're probably somebody watching this video that loves Ruby Rose Turner just as much for either something she did outside of Descendants or the character Bridget. And I don't know how they can do it. I don't know how the character Pink is going to take the place of Bridget in this one and Ruby Rose Turner, because she was such a beautiful soul. And I'm going to miss her. And I hope we see her again by Descendants 6. One can only hope. The thing about this installment of Descendants is it will be taking place in present-day Wonderland. So for those of you who have heard from critics that it will be based off the consequences of time travel, indeed it will be. But there will be no time travel required in this. So the reason for the absence of Bridget's character is because they can't go back in time to see her again. If this movie would have time travel aspects incorporated into it, would have gone that far, then she would have been necessary for the script. So one can only hope that time travel will be needed by Descendants 6, which we will see happen. It's going to take a long time for it to happen, but it will. So what I want you to do is, if anything, hold on to the dream and the belief that the story is far from over. And even if it is, I will still be here every single night on this podcast talking about what you love and what you have such a great appreciation for, be it Descendants and Zombies, because I know how much it means to each and every single person who has ever taken a chance on me and hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for finding my videos as you drive your side-by-side through the woods every single night and you end up here. I'm happy you are here, and I hope you keep coming back every night. And if you're somebody who has not hit the subscribe button, you might want to take yourself up on the opportunity to do that, because I do a really great job as a podcaster. Thank you guys so much for making me the voice of Descendants for over 10 years. Thank you so much for listening to every version of every podcast that I've either co-hosted over the years on the radio or on YouTube for videos, and now hosted for the second time, be it that this is my second podcast that I've originally produced on my own. I have no sponsors or anything like that, but I put a lot of money into this YouTube channel. Brand new camera, brand new microphone, LED strip lights, buying a new chair this week because this chair is falling apart. Oh my. Never buy a game chair off Amazon. If you do anything, build the game chair, or I don't know, just don't buy it off Amazon. I think I'm going to follow this chair every single night. But if there's one message I want you to run away with on this YouTube channel, it's that every dream is possible. And if every dream doesn't even seem to be possible, every dream is reachable and achievable and can become a reality. All you have to do is hold on to that dream and for sure believe in it. And never ever forget to spread kindness, because I'm going to let you in a little secret. There is somebody you see every day, a guy or a girl, who either wants a friend or wants a bit of happiness and encouragement in their own life. It could be that person sitting in front of you on the school bus every morning on your way to school, sitting in front of you or behind you in the school class, just waiting for you to tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, I just wanted to say hi, or to remind you that everything is going to be okay. And if you can take that message and run away with that from this YouTube channel, I'm proud of you, man. And I'm just really happy you're here and you found this video and you think, hopefully, one can only hope that you think I'm the greatest voice of Descendants ever. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta jump through my window and go on the graveyard shift, which is quite difficult and really spooky. But leave it to the professionals. Don't try this at home. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clark, you really believe your own hype, don't you? Cut me some slack. I'll be back on this podcast tomorrow to tell you all about my graveyard shift, and I'm ready to go. Tell Meg Donnelly, Dove Cameron, Kylie Control at these conventions, D23, that I'm ready to go, man. Thank you guys so much for loving these videos, loving this YouTube channel, and subscribing. Let's go spread some kindness right now. Bye, YouTube. We will do it again tomorrow night.